Even as India-Canada diplomatic ties have gone into deep freeze, the United States has called on India to cooperate with Canada's investigation into what it has termed as extremely serious allegations linking agents of the Indian government with the killing of Khalistani terrorist and Canadian citizen Hardeep Singh Nijjar in British Columbia last year. In fact, the US has accused India of not cooperating with Canada. At a press briefing in Washington, D.C., State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller said the U.S. had made it clear that Canada's allegations need to be taken seriously. Miller said, and I quote, "When it comes to the Canadian matter, we have made clear that the allegations are extremely serious. We wanted to see the government of India cooperate with Canada. Obviously, they have not chosen that path." Of course, the US has been far more discreet and restrained compared to its neighbor Canada, even as it continues to call for cooperation between the two countries. Miller also underlined the strength of India-US relations, saying India continues to be an incredibly strong partner. We've worked with them on a number of matters, including our shared vision for a free, open and prosperous Indo-Pacific. And when we have concerns, we can take those concerns to them and have candid conversations. While India has so far not commented on Washington's remarks, it has categorically and repeatedly rejected as preposterous and politically motivated the allegations levelled by Canada. India says Canada has not shared a shred of evidence to back its claims and that Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is making baseless charges to pander to Khalistani elements and anti-India forces that constitute a vote bank for him and to shore up his sagging political fortunes ahead of the 2025 general election, which many polls suggest Trudeau is likely to lose. The India-Canada crisis erupted in September last year after the Canadian Prime Minister accused agents of New Delhi of being involved in killing Nijjar. He claimed credible information had been shared with intelligence partners, including the United States. India, as we said, maintains that it has not been presented with any evidence to back the charges. The accusations, first levelled last year, had led to tensions that included a fierce response from India and a tit-for-tat expulsion of diplomats by both sides. However, this week, ties between the two countries hit rock bottom after Canada accused top Indian diplomats, including its High Commissioner to Ottawa, Sanjay Verma, of being involved in the murder of the Khalistani terrorist. On Monday, Canada expelled all 6 of these diplomats, even though India had already announced its decision to withdraw them from Canada owing to security concerns. Hours later, a furious India retaliated by expelling 6 Canadian diplomats, including Canada's acting High Commissioner, Stuart Ross Wheeler, and Deputy High Commissioner Patrick Herbert. Canada didn't stop there. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police said Indian government agents had colluded with organized criminal elements, particularly the Lawrence Bishnoi gang, to target Canada's South Asian community, specifically pro-Khalistani elements. The same Lawrence Bishnoi who is suspected to be behind the killing of former Maharashtra Minister Baba Siddiqui. That was followed by Trudeau holding a press conference where he reiterated the charges and claimed India made a fundamental error, thinking that it could engage in supporting criminal activity against Canadians on Canadian soil. He said whether it is murders or extortion or other violent acts, it is absolutely unacceptable. He also claimed that the Canadian police had spoken to Indian government officials, but their requests for cooperation were rebuffed. Now, who exactly was Hardeep Singh Nijjar? He was the founder of the banned terror outfit Khalistan Tiger Force. He was on New Delhi's list of most wanted terrorists for multiple crimes, including the murder of a Hindu priest in Punjab. Anti-terror agency, the NIA, had offered a 10 lakh rupee reward for information leading to his capture. The Canadian Prime Minister says he has shared relevant information regarding the allegations against India with its Five Eyes partners, that's the United States, the United Kingdom, Australia and New Zealand. The Five Eyes Alliance constitute a coalition of 5 intelligence agencies that work closely together. Trudeau added, from the beginning, as of last summer, we've worked closely with our Five Eyes partners, particularly with the United States, where they have gone through a similar pattern of behavior from India with regards to an attempted extrajudicial killing. A reference to the case involving another Khalistani terrorist, Gurpant Singh Pannu, who has claimed that the Indian government was involved in a plot to murder him on US soil. This is a matter that has been raised by the Biden administration with New Delhi, and significantly on Tuesday, an investigative committee from India probing the Pannu case was in Washington, D.C. The US Department of Justice has charged some Indian citizens with directing a plot to kill Pannu, who is a designated terrorist in India and a US citizen. The US State Department has said the Indian government have told us that they are taking the allegations seriously and that the activities in the US Department of Justice indictment do not represent the Indian government policy. While at the moment all of its Five Eyes allies are backing Canada and demanding India's cooperation in the probe, fact is the Canadian Prime Minister is struggling to convince his own people about India's so-called links to the killing of Nijjar or any other crimes that he has accused New Delhi of. Not only are his allegations totally vague with no credible evidence put out in the public domain, Trudeau faces an uncertain political future. His approval ratings at home are at an all-time low. He has been pandering to Khalistani separatists, violent extremists and anti-India forces for the sake of cynical vote bank politics, and many believe that Trudeau senses an embarrassing defeat for his party in the 2025 general election in Canada and is therefore resorting to desperate measures to distract attention from his own failures and extremely poor record during the 9 years that he has been in office. Therefore, as he fights for his own political survival, Trudeau seems to have decided to sacrifice India-Canada ties in the process. Not only that, political observers say Trudeau is currently struggling to fend off a potential coup brewing within his own party, with many leaders clamoring for his removal amidst corruption allegations. In fact, Liberal MP Sean Casey has publicly called for Trudeau to resign, citing growing dissatisfaction within the party. He recently said in an interview, people have had enough, they've tuned him out and they want him to go. Also, the Indian government believes that Trudeau's move was triggered by his impending deposition before an influential commission to explain the charge that his government has failed to prevent China's interference in domestic politics and to stop China from having a free run in that country.